The crime system in the Elder Scrolls Online is really fun to explore, and it can be quite profitable. Hey everyone, it's Spopes. The crime system in the Elder Scrolls Online is an aspect of the game that many players overlook, but it's quite useful for leveling skill lines you'll use in other aspects of the game, and it opens up a whole new world of gameplay full of enjoyable activities and great ways to make gold. So in this video, I'm going to provide you with a 101 guide to crime in ESO, telling you how to get started with crime, explain the most fun and profitable criminal acts, and also covering the best ways to optimize your crime sprees and avoid getting caught. Now, in before all the comments from people saying, but Spopes, you're a Christian, you shouldn't be doing crimes. Guys, if you haven't noticed, this is a video game. Now, if crimes in ESO somehow spur you to do crimes in the real world, that's a totally different story. But just to be really clear, we're just talking about crimes in the game, The Elder Scrolls Online. I'm not inciting anybody to criminal acts. Please don't actually go stealing from people, breaking into their houses, or God forbid, murdering them. But in ESO, crime is a lot of fun. It's a great way to make gold, and it unlocks a whole new side of the game you may not have experienced. So we're going to get into all the different ways you can commit crimes, make money by doing them, level skill lines, and get away with it in just a moment. But before we do, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Please like and hype this video, and consider supporting me by becoming a member, picking up some merch, or leaving a donation. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let's get into this guide on how to do crime in ESO, how to have fun while doing it, and how to get away with anything, even murder. Let's consider why you might want to pursue a life of crime in the Elder Scrolls Online. Well, first of all, fencing stolen items is a great way to get paid in the game. This is an easy and fast way to make gold in ESO, so it's profitable. It's worth it for that reason alone. Also, let's just admit it, being evil or pretending to be evil is fun. Again, don't be evil in the real world. Whether you're secular or religious, follow either the laws of God or of man to live a happy and fulfilling life. But this is a fantasy game. It exists to do things that you can't actually do in the real world. So letting out that evil side of you, cutting loose, committing some crimes in the game is a lot of fun. It's rewarding in its own right. And on top of that, there are a variety of rewards you can only get by committing crimes in ESO. There's a whole section of achievements covering criminal acts that allows you to get dyes, titles, and otherwise scratch any completionist urges you might have. So in short, committing crimes in ESO is fun. It's rewarding, and it's one of the many aspects of the game that makes the Elder Scrolls Online unique. You can completely avoid the crime system in the game and live a completely goody two-shoes life, but if you do decide to delve into a world of crime, you will be amply rewarded. So now let's cover the different kinds of crime you can commit in ESO, the best way to optimize these criminal activities, and to get away with the crimes you want to commit. One of the predominant forms of crime in the game is pickpocketing. You can pickpocket each NPC up to 3 times, and the items you get from doing so give you anywhere from 100 to 500 gold. It is worth mentioning that if you have Ember out as a companion, having her summoned while you pickpocket gives you a chance of getting an extra item. It's called Ember's Hidden Wallet, and this increases the amount that you can make from pickpocketing. Ember doesn't mind when you do crime. It doesn't take away from her rapport. She actually thinks stealing and killing is funny, which makes me worry about Ember sometimes. But she is the best companion to have if you're going on a crime spree. Your ability to pickpocket is mainly improved by the Legerdemain skill line. This skill line includes passives that reduce the cost of sneaking, increase your chances of pickpocketing by up to 50%, increases the number of times you can interact with fences during a day. Fences are who you sell stolen items to or launder them with. We'll get more into that later in the video. Legerdemain also increases your chance of forcing locks. It reduces the amount you pay to guards if you get caught, or to fences who you can choose to pay your bounty to willingly to clear your heats. Both pickpocketing and lockpicking level your Legerdemain skill line. Every time you pickpocket from an NPC, you'll gain XP for Legerdemain, and the same goes for when you lockpick a door or a chest. By the way, lockpicking chests is not a criminal act unless it is in a trespassing zone. So when you come across chests out in the world, in dungeons, etc., you don't have to worry about being caught. Lockpick away to help level your Legerdemain skill line. And while we're talking about lockpicking, it's also worth mentioning that completing Tanloran's achievements does give you access to the passive Tanloran's Finesse across your entire account. That improves your chances of lockpicking. So you'll want to complete all the objectives under both Tanloran's Favor and A Bloom on the Horizon to gain access to that and improve your lockpicking proficiency. Tanloran is a companion that is available to all ESO Plus members for free. You can also buy access to Tanloran from the Crown Store. Really quick, the last way that you can level your Legerdemain skill line is by selling or laundering items to fences who are located in outlaws' refuges. You simply go to the fence, sell or launder your items, and your Legerdemain XP will go up if it's not already maxed at 20 like mine is. So now that we've covered pickpocketing, let's discuss another way you can do crime in ESO, and that's stealing from containers. I'm going to break into Estania's house again here. I'm actually going to feed on this guy to get him out of the way. little bit of a sneak peek of what's coming. But as you can see, there are various containers inside of trespassing zones from which you can steal items. There are also plenty of containers outside of zones where you can trespass that also technically belong to NPCs, and you can also steal from those. As always when doing crimes, just be careful that no one can see you, or else you'll get caught and get a bounty, which we'll cover more about toward the end of the video. You get XP for Legerdemain whenever you sell or launder any kind of stolen item, so wherever you get those from, it's worth picking them up, taking them to a fence, to get your Legerdemain to max, and to unlock those passives that will improve your ability to commit crime. As we just covered, breaking and entering into homes, trespassing, is another crime you can commit, and it does directly contribute to leveling Legerdemain because there's lockpicking involved. You can either kill or avoid the NPCs inside, and then steal all their stuff. I'm gonna sneak up on this lady after she moves, and do some murder on her. Bye! And now I'm gonna take the stuff off of you, and steal all the stuff in your sacks. Oh, and here's a safe box. This is a great opportunity to mention safe boxes. These are hidden throughout the world, and you do get Legerdemain XP for opening them, and they contain high value items. I pretty much always just try to force locks at this point because of Tanloran's finesse. It almost always works. Oh, I got an achievement, look at that. But before you have Tanloran's finesse and before you've maxed out Legerdemain, you want to pick the locks the traditional way. I've already been showcasing this to some degree throughout the video, but now let's focus on the last form of crime I'm going to cover, which is killing NPCs. This NPC goes on a loop. I'm going to wait till no one can see her, and then I'll pickpocket twice and then kill her. Each NPC can only drop up to 3 different items, so if you pickpocket them twice and then murder, you'll get the maximum amount of items. I have 2 different ways to murder NPCs, one of which is the Vampire's Feed. You get this just by getting the Vampire skill line and becoming a vampire. It's a slightly longer distance execute. There's also the Blade of Woe from the Dark Brotherhood skill line. That only works at a slightly shorter distance, but they're both equally valid ways for slaying NPCs. It's also worth mentioning that as of update 50 in the Werewolf rework, the Werewolf is getting its own assassin ability, known as Slaughter. We don't know much about that yet, but pretty soon werewolves as well as vampires will be able to assassinate NPCs out in the world. So with pickpocketing, looting containers that belong to NPCs, breaking and entering, and killing NPCs, those are the 4 main types of crime in ESO. But beyond leveling the Legerdemain skill line, there are other ways you can optimize your crime sprees in the game, mainly by investing in the Thieves Guild and Dark Brotherhood skill lines. These are both available now for free in the Crown Store. They're free to all players, whatever version of the game you have, whether you have ESO Plus or not. Actually, now that these DLCs are free, it's no longer in the Crown Store, but rather in the Collections screen. You simply go to the menu, then Collections, then Stories, then go to Zone DLC, scroll down to the bottom, and go to Thieves Guild. If you've not started this quest yet, there'll be an option here that says Accept Quest. Then you simply follow the tooltip and talk to Quen in the Outlaws Refuge to get started. The Thieves Guild intro quest is also triggered anytime you find a Thieves Trove out in the world. These look like safe boxes, but they're glowing blue. Simply open one, and the invitation to the Thieves Guild will appear in your journal. The same is the case for the Dark Brotherhood. Simply go to Zone DLCs under Stories and Collections, and accept the quest. There will be a separate NPC in any Outlaw Refuge you can go talk to. Then simply follow the tooltips in the quest to proceed. You unlock both the Thieves Guild and Dark Brotherhood skill lines after doing the first quest for each DLC. To progress through the Thieves Guild skill line, you can either do the main story quest or Thieves Guild dailies. The same is the case with Dark Brotherhood. You can do either dailies or the main quest to level your skill line, but with both of these, you do have to do some dailies in between the quests to get your reputation to a certain level and be able to unlock the next quest. For Thieves Guild, at least this is changing in Update 50. There's going to be a new Thieves Guild in Glenumbra with new activities, new ways to level this skill line, but until U50 launches, that's what you gotta do. Now, as you can see, I have not properly leveled either Dark Brotherhood or Thieves Guild, because compared to Legerdemain, their passives are not actually as useful for crime. Having Blade of Woe or the Vampire Assassination skill feed is one of the most essential ingredients in committing crimes in ESO, but past that point, leveling further in Dark Brotherhood just reduces the heat you get from murders or assaults. It allows you to sprint away from the site of murders, has a chance to make you disappear when you use the Blade of Woe, and perhaps most usefully, there is also the passive Shadow Rider that unlocks at level 7, that makes it harder for monsters to see you when you're out in the world. The Thieves Guild passives increase the rate at which your bounty goes down, increase the amount of money you get from fences and outlaw refuges, but not by very much. Perhaps most usefully gives you the passive Clemency, which allows you to get off scot-free from a guard once per day, and also gives you access to a footpad who will instantly teleport you to an outlaw refuge if you have a bounty and you're in combat with a guard. The passive Veil of Shadows has also decreased the distance in which it can be witnessed when doing crimes. But yeah, I've been able to go on the biggest murder sprees ever, do all the crime that I want to do without getting these skill lines fully leveled. In my opinion, you should focus on Legerdemain first, and then maybe progress through Dark Brotherhood and Thieves Guild to get their passes as well. And also really quick, another reason it is important to complete the entire Thieves Guild quest line is that with the last quest, you do gain access to a smuggler assistant, a portable fence you can summon anywhere in the world, meaning you can sell stolen items without having to go to an outlaw refuge. Though until the new fence assistant comes out with the Season 1 Tamriel Tome in July, you will not be able to launder items with your assistant, only sell them. The new assistant that's coming out is changing that. It's a smuggler assistant you can both fence and launder with. And speaking of fencing, let's talk a little bit more about how fences work in the game, how to profitably get rid of your ill-gotten goods. There's a fence located in every outlaw refuge, and outlaws' refuges are marked by this symbol. Simply go into the refuge and find the fence. When you get to the fence, you'll have two options, either selling or laundering. Now, generally speaking, you should only sell treasures. That's these items listed under the treasure heading. Sell these for sure to get extra gold. But launder any consumables or crafting materials. Maybe sell the consumables if, for instance, you're not actually going to eat crusty bread, but the crafting materials should definitely be laundered, especially if you have ESO Plus, because those go directly to your craft bag. Laundering simply makes items not be stolen anymore. Then you can use them in any regular way. There is a fee to launder items though, but if you fence or sell everything else, you should easily be able to cover the fee for laundering. Alright, now let's cover what is probably the most important part of committing crimes in ESO, how to get away with it. So the first and most important way to get away with crimes is simply not be witnessed. Make sure that hidden icon is all the way to a shut eye or close to it. Make sure there's not a guard sneaking up on you like this one. Okay, now the guard is gone, time to kill. Simple as that. Of course, you get into hidden mode by crouching and waiting for that eye on your screen to shut. This guard is watching me now, so if I steal from this body, I'll get caught. When you're committing crimes, you definitely want to avoid guards. But you also want to avoid any witnesses. Guards will actually chase you down, but witnesses will alert the authorities. So basically just make sure you're hidden, make sure there are no witnesses, and you're good to go. But just to demonstrate what does happen when things go wrong, I'm gonna go ahead and attack this guard. Sup? You suck. Bye. See, now I have a bounty on my head, and the guard is me chasing me, trying to immobilize me. Off I go into the outlaw refuge. That's one way to get away. Keep an eye on that heat meter on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. As that goes down, guards will no longer attack me, but they will still arrest me and try to find me for what I've done. But once you're disreputable, you'll no longer be attacked. You can either pay your bounty to a guard or to a fence. And either way, if you have the passive kickback under Legerdemain, the amount you'll pay is less than your actual bounty. So again, just to demonstrate, I will pay my bounty here to this fence. And there we go, I am upstanding again. But that is not the only way to get away with crimes. Let's go find that guard again. Sup, guard? Boom! Okay, here we go. Guards will kill you if you let them catch you, and you cannot actually damage them or kill them, so it is a losing battle. But I'm gonna go ahead and run away somewhere where they can't get me. I tried to run away, but he actually caught me. But once you are caught by a guard, you can either pay, plead clemency if you have the passive, or just run. And I'm gonna run. Oh, now they're really mad. Now they're really mad. They're all after me. One place that guards cannot chase you is in the water. So just take yourself a nice swim. And then there are items you can find in Thieves' Troves and certain other locations called Counterfeit Pardon Edicts. If your bounty is under 500, a single one of these will clear you instantly. So for instance, mine was, I used an edict, I am now upstanding. And introduced, I think, for the first time in this season's free Tamriel Tome, there's also a new item called the Grand Amnesty Edict that clears up to 100,000 in bounty. So you can basically go on the biggest murder spree ever and still get away with it with this rare item. I'm gonna go back to shore now because my name has been cleared. So basically just summarizing, the best way to not get caught is to have no witnesses. Guards are the worst kind of witness, but most NPCs can also witness your crimes. If you do get caught, you have the option of paying your bounty to a guard or to a fence, or you can use a counterfeit pardon edict. But if none of that is an option to you, you can always just log out too. Bounty decreases over time, so simply logging out of that character, taking a break from the game, or logging into a new character will eventually make your bounty clock count down to 0, and you'll go back to outstanding. It takes longer to do this the bigger your bounty is. Alright everyone, I think that just about covers the basics of committing crimes in ESO. I covered why you should commit crimes, the types of crimes you can commit, and how to get away with them. There may have been some details that I glossed over. I have to admit, I am not the biggest crime expert in the history of the game. I just think it's a fun aspect of ESO that I like to explore. I want to help new players and people who've never experienced crime in the game get started with it. If you are a crime expert, please do comment with any additional tips you may have. Anything I did not cover either because I glossed over it or because I simply don't know about it. But I really appreciate you watching, and I hope this guide helps you get started with crime in ESO and explore a very interesting and profitable side of the game. In the comments, please do let me know what you think about the video, what you think about the crime system in ESO and how it adds to the game overall, whether you're going to jump into crime now even though you never have before, or whether you've been committing crimes in ESO for years. Also, please do give me any feedback you have on the video, the way I presented the information, any feedback on my channel overall. And before you go, please do support the channel by liking, subscribing, and hyping. And you can support me even further by becoming a member of the Spopes Army, check out my merch, or leaving a donation. And now, as always, we're going to finish up with a prayer to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Lord Jesus, thank you for making ESO such a diverse game with so many things to do. Thank you for helping the developers make it into a true fantasy game in every sense of the word, where we can experience things that we cannot do in the real world, or simply that we should not do, things that violate your law. But in this digital fantasy environment, we can explore all the fun and intrigue of crime, even murder. But Lord, I do ask that you keep firmly separated fantasy from reality, that anyone who does engage in crime in the game realizes it's just a game, and these are absolutely not things that are okay to do in the real world. And Lord, I thank you for your forgiveness and your love and the creativity you have breathed into so many people in this world to make beautiful and vibrant fantasy environments we can all enjoy and share. Lord, I give you all glory for the video today. I ask you to bless everyone watching this video, all the members of my community. Lord, bring everyone closer to you. Show them your light and your love and your mercy. And Lord, also bring to your side all those recently departed souls across the world. I ask this in your name, Lord Jesus. Lord, in your mercy, hear our prayer. Again, everyone, thanks so much for watching. I really hope the guide was useful, helpful, and entertaining. Please do leave your comments below. And before you go, please remember to like, hype, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, turn on notifications, because I'll be back soon with new content.